Today, we're joined by somebody who plays the biggest role in building the most popular affiliate marketing events, COO of Affiliate World, Matej. Matej, I know that it's incredibly busy time for the Affiliate World team, so we're really grateful for the moment you're sharing with us today.
Thanks for the invitation. I'm happy to be here. Hopefully, I can give you some answers that you're kind of looking for. And let's kick it off. So, whatever you would like to hear or know about the conference or about me, feel free to ask.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we dive deeper into the behind the scenes of the Affiliate World Conference, I'd like to ask about your journey first. Mm-hmm. So I know that you started your journey in the affiliate marketing in the late 90s. Can you please share with us what originally pulled you into the industry?
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while. So if I'm not wrong, it was like at the end of the year 1998 or 1999. So more than 25 years by now. So yeah, I actually remember exactly how I discovered the affiliate marketing industry. So I've been browsing some websites, and at the bottom of it there was a line, like a link that you could actually click, and it was saying something like "Webmasters, click here to make money." Mm-hmm. So I basically clicked on it, and the rest, as they say, is history. So that's how I found out you can actually make money on that then a new thing, the internet, by building websites, then selling advertisement spots on those websites, or directly selling some, back then mostly digital products, and get commission, which is basically the core principle of affiliate marketing.
I'd like to know more about your role at Affiliate World. Mm-hmm. You are the COO, right? I'm wondering how your role evolved over mm-hmm. time, and how did you start your journey in this position?
Okay, so again, we need to go a little bit back in time. So as I've mentioned, I've been running my own websites when I started with this industry. And then that was even before Google, actually. So then when Google came to be, we were able to rank websites and make quite a bit of money from that. But eventually Google got more strict and we lost positions. So we've been looking for other ways of making money, and we found out you can actually buy the traffic, which is the core business of you, basically. So I was looking into this, and I found out about a place called Stacked Money. Later, this was rebranded to STM. So I guess quite a few people still remember the STM forum. And STM forum is actually a place where Affiliate World was born. So it was founded by 4 affiliates. They built this community. It's still alive, just under a different name. Now we call it Affiliate World Forum, naturally. And these guys started to do local meetups for the members of the forum. Mm-hmm. And every time they made a meetup, more and more people showed up. So eventually they converted this into the conference. And my role at the STM forum since, I believe, 2017 was one of the main moderators of the place. So I kind of started as the moderator, then got more and more involved. And when 3 of the original founders or co-founders exited, the one who remained asked me if I'm kind of willing to take a more active role in the organization of the conferences, and that's how I landed in this position. So mm-hmm. basically from the bottom to the leadership team of the conference.
How could you describe this process? Did you have this feeling at some point that like, wow, this is becoming something really huge?
Yeah, exactly. So it was, I mentioned these meetups. So the final one was held in London in 2015. And back then I was attending that one as well, still just like an affiliate. And I think there was like 500 or 600 people, and that already seemed huge to me mm-hmm. back then. Then we had the first Affiliate World actually here in Bangkok. So now we have the 10th anniversary, which was the same venue, just not using the entire space because the conference was new and small. So basically the small number of booths that they had were set up in the hallways. Now we kind of fill the entire hall, and we are running out of space, so to speak. So every single year, it just kept on growing and growing. And I was always thinking like, okay, this is the ceiling. Like, we cannot grow more, but then we did.
Of course.
And this was even last year. So I was thinking like, okay, this is like the maximum. There probably isn't more companies in this industry or more attendees, but there is. And we got, even this year, we grew again. So sometimes it's like mind-boggling to me. So how can we still find more attendees, more companies, but somehow it is happening? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's almost surreal. Like it just keeps on growing and growing. So let's see where we can take it.
So you mentioned that it became even more massive compared to the
Yep.
last year.
Yeah.
How do you estimate this growth? What changed compared to Affiliate World Bangkok 2024, for example?
So we have changed the layout a little bit because we needed to fit in more booths this time. So we have more exhibitors than last year. We also changed the feature areas a little. So like the exhibition cafe that we have, the networking zone. We also opened the other spaces that we normally would not use in the past. So the hallway and where we had this e-com world that we are trying for the first time. So there is still space where we can go. So if there is interest, we will definitely think about ways like how to make that happen. So hopefully there will be the interest, because I would love to see it grow even more. I mean, let's see what the limit is.
Just like you mentioned, that conference is just 2 days, right? And for me, from my point of view, it looks polished, absolutely, But of course, such massive events never are. How would you say, what is the most complex part behind the scenes that keeps the conference functioning?
Okay, so I'm asked this question quite a lot, but it's really hard to like pinpoint and just say like, okay, it's this or that. It's kind of like a combination of many things. So it's like a puzzle. I mean, if you miss one piece, the puzzle is just not complete. So there are some areas that are like more simple to pull off. Some are more complicated. So we obviously work with local suppliers for all the events that we run. So with some, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's easy, but if we have the right supplier, they can just do it. So we basically just like tell them what we need, they do it, and we pay them. There are some areas where we need to get more involved. So let's say working with the exhibitors.
Yeah.
So we need to collect all the artwork for the back walls that we are printing. We need to make sure they follow the rules. We need to make sure there is no issue on the artwork, for example, like a typo or they miss something, because then obviously they would not be happy. So this takes a lot of time. I'm still not sure if I would say this is like the most important or more crucial part.
But there are like a lot of small details, right?
Exactly. It's like it's from the very, I mean, let's say let's take a look at, or let's talk about the registration we have, for example. So this is the first thing you see. So if you mess up there, then the whole impression will be kind of impacted by this. So we need to make sure that goes smoothly. On top of that, people pay like quite a lot of money for the tickets. So we don't want them to wait in the registration area. We want them inside. So we basically have maybe 2 hours to process, like, let's say 6,000-7,000 attendees, which is not easy. So we need to plan this ahead of time. So there are many small components, none of them extremely complicated, but like making sure they all work together is the tricky part.
Let's come back to your role a little bit. When people hear COO, right? I mean, it can mean different things depending on the company, right? But how would you say, what is the part of your work that people don't usually see?
I would say it is probably different from one company to the next. We don't really play roles too much. So I do whatever is needed. So maybe some people would think, okay, I just do these like tasks that have something to do with leadership. But if there is some trash left somewhere, I just come and collect it. So I would guess some people probably don't see this aspect. So as part of the leadership team, I just need to do whatever is needed to make the event a success. There is nothing that would be like below my role or something. I would be like, okay, I'm not doing that because I'm in the leadership team. No. So I basically do it all.
Let's imagine, for example, if you stepped away from the conference for a year, what would break first?
So that's
because you're saying that we're doing everything, right, depending on tasks.
Okay, I know. So there's this one thing, and I think that's probably not just about our company, but everywhere. So the role of a leader or manager is kind of to have the overlook or the oversight. You kind of need to know what is happening everywhere. Because if someone needs an answer, I mean, they can go from one department to the next, which will take them half a day, or they can go to someone who kind of knows it all. I mean, not knows it all, but has the oversight, basically. So I think this is, I think, so if I left, the people would kind of need to think about who do they go to if they need an answer to something, because now they can just ask me and I usually have the answer.
What is the most difficult part in organizing such a massive event? do you have this feeling every time when organizing a conference that, at this point it's becoming more difficult?
Yeah, I mean, you always, before it starts, you always have the feeling, because we must have forgotten about something.
Yeah.
So, like, did we instruct the stage team properly? Do they know what to do? I mean, all the computers at registration, do they work? Do we have internet? There are so many parts coming together. So, yeah, and the more people we get, the more you're kind of afraid something might break, because it's just like more people need to be involved. We are working with a larger space, with more suppliers and everything. But I mean, many of the team members we have are working with us for quite some time already, so they've seen it all. So we can rely on them, which is like is amazing actually. So without the team, we wouldn't be able to pull it off. Like zero chance, literally. That's why it's quite hard to replace when someone decides to leave. Then you kind of need to train someone again. So yeah, the team we have helps a lot. The stress is always there. I think this is the conference business. So stress is always there. You just need to learn how to deal with that. So even if it kind of comes or becomes a little bit too much, or it's getting over the top of your head, you just need to deal with it. You need to calm down and realize we've done this before. We kind of know what we are doing. So, and in the end, it always works out. So, but yeah, it can be stressful. That's, I think, the second name of the conference business is stress.
When you think about the affiliate world as a product, what are its core values?
We call it the first timers meetup, or orientation for people who come for the first time. I was doing like an introduction speech there this year. So I told the people something which I think would relate to this question. So I think there are like three main components or value points for everyone. So first one is the education. So we try to provide the education, which would be the stages that we have and the workshops we organize. The second one is networking, which I think is the most important component. So people come to our conferences to meet with either the old or like current business partners or looking for new ones, and generally just meet with people, get some information from them, maybe share some information themselves. I mean, the core principles of networking. You basically, if you stay at home, that's fine, because we are in online business per se, but sometimes you need to meet with the people. So networking is all about this. So I think that's probably the most important part of the conferences, and that's where we put heavy focus on this. That's why we have all these like networking zones and these meeting tables. That's why we do parties, because that's just like another form of networking anyways. And the third component is fun. So again, back to the parties. So you shouldn't just work all day long or all year round. You should also have fun. So we also try to provide this to the attendees. And affiliate marketing can be a lonely business. You can basically do it from your room and not leave it all year long. But who wants to live like this? So sometimes you just need to go out, meet with others, have some fun, talk to people who actually speak your language. And I don't mean like English, but all the lingo that we have, like CPA, CPC, ROAS. Nobody except from our circle knows what that is. So this is what we try to provide the people. And it's with all the events. Wherever we go, these three components are always there. And I think these are the most important ones. And we try to use the specific venues we have to the max. So I'm not sure if you've been to our Europe conference this year, but we changed the venues. And this is on two levels, basically. So there are areas on the upper level, like the VIP section. So the second we saw it, we knew like, okay, this is a VIP section we need to use. Or there are these outdoor areas. So we knew, okay, this is great location for food trucks, for example. Or it was it was September, so like still kind of at the end of the summer. So we knew, okay, if we are happy enough to have nice weather, we need to set it up outside, because people just would want to be there.
Yeah.
And this is like every venue we have has different challenges, different opportunities, and we try to use them to their best.
So speaking about conferences in different regions, which region is growing the fastest right now and why?
Okay. The regions are a little bit different. So
very different.
And each of them have some specifics. So I think our most popular event is this one in Asia, where we're shooting right now, but not by much. So the sizes are kind
More
of
popular, you
comparable
mean
in
the
terms of
number of
attendees. Yeah, yeah.
attendees?
But it's almost it's just that the difference is just a few hundred people, and each of them grows on its own. So and the pace of the growth, I would say, is quite comparable actually. So it's several hundred people per event, like year on year, and I wouldn't say any of them is growing faster. It just maybe the feel you have. So like this Asia one feels like really dynamic, but it also comes probably from the location. So Bangkok or Asia in general is just the vibe is just different. In Europe it's calmer. In Asia, I mean, it's kind of crazy. So you've been in the streets, you know what it looks like. Dubai again has a specific feel to it. So I don't really think any of them is growing faster than the other. It's just kind of stable. Yeah.
For example, the crowd in Dubai, right, and the crowd at Affiliate World Bangkok is different, right? How would you say, what is the difference in their goals for the conference?
So this is closely tied to the location. So, for example, here in Asia, we have more people from Asian countries because of the proximity, easier for them to travel. Plus, it's easier to get visa. So we have more people from countries who have trouble getting visa to Europe, for example. In Europe, Budapest or Hungary is very centrally located. You can basically take train, bus, your own car, or a very short flight from basically any country in Europe. So we have more people from these countries. Dubai, again, this is the MENA region, I think what it's called. So we have more people from these Arabic countries and all the other ones that are close to Dubai. And this also has some impact on the business that these companies are doing. So Dubai is a financial hub of the world, so you can expect more people from the financial verticals there. We had people from real estate verticals, which is not like a traditional match for us, but we had people from even real estate agencies presenting at the Dubai show. And from what I heard, they even were able to sell some properties to our attendees.
Wow.
Which was kind of interesting. I was like a little bit, I didn't understand why they want to exhibit in the first place, but then it all kind of made sense. So
but still, you mentioned that Affiliate World Asia is growing more.
Yeah, a little bit. It wouldn't be like, if you looked at the chart, it wouldn't be like a huge spike, but it's a little bit more dynamic than the other two.
Why do you think is that? Because Dubai, as you said, is financial hub, right? And
I think it's
there are a lot of attendees.
Yeah,
as well.
right. I mean, I don't really have maybe the answer for this. Could be just like a theory. So Bangkok kind of is a vacation people want vacation destination that people actually want to visit, because many of the attendees, I mean, there is no need to deny it, they don't just travel for the business, they travel for pleasure or fun as well. And Bangkok is, or Thailand is a typical vacation destination. Those traveling for the conference can kind of, and they do it, use it as an excuse sometimes. So because if you tell your wife you're traveling to Thailand, normally you don't get the approval, but if there is a conference, then it kind of slips through, and people tend to stay for a week or two and visit the islands. So I think it's probably this what makes the destination so attractive to people, and maybe that's why we get the most attendees here. Or maybe it's the vibe of Asia, maybe it's the food, I don't know. But Thailand I think is the perfect destination.
What should we expect from Dubai 2026?
In Dubai, we have a lot of space. So each of the venues we have is of different size. The one in Dubai is the biggest one that we have. So we are kind of thinking about some new concepts that we could potentially try. So like we did this Econ World in Bangkok for the first time. It was on a small scale, but seemed to work fine. So some people liked it. Some didn't even know we had it. So if we kind of need to analyze after the conference, but if we decide it's worth it, we would probably organize that in Dubai as well. So we definitely have the space for that. And I mean, we expect a great show again. So the interest is there. We are already selling tickets, and we are already working on the preparations. And that kind of has to start even before the current conference is over. We already work on the following one. So we definitely expect a great show. We are thinking about some new concepts, so cannot really reveal that now, but that will come later as a surprise. And yeah, so it should be fine. So we don't expect anything negative. So the last Dubai show was very well received. We see quite strong interest from exhibitors. So if everything goes the way it seems to be going, we should grow again.
You definitely see the clear picture of how verticals evolve. How would you say how high risk verticals evolved over the past few years, like adult, dating, iGaming, in terms of how they run traffic, what kind of goals they try to pursue?
Mhm. So the thing with high risk verticals is that they are high risk by high, but also high reward.
Yeah.
So that kind of by nature attracts all kinds of people. So some of them, let's say, willing to push boundaries more than they should. So these industries, I mean, in the end, it usually comes to one thing. These industries either regulate themselves or someone steps in and does it for them or eventually kills the business completely. So I've seen it happen many times over the years. So usually there is something new. So let's say some billing method. So like when smartphones became the big thing, in the beginning there were not really many options to charge these people for services or products or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing called pin submit came up. So basically people could pay with these mobile phones. It would show up on their charge, a monthly bill. And unfortunately, this attracted the wrong individuals who kind of abused the system. So eventually the regulators had to step in. They introduced all kinds of rules and regulations that all the players had to follow, which kind of led to this method becoming almost impossible to run profitably. So this is what I've seen many times. You've mentioned dating, for example. So I believe dating still is one of the like main verticals in the traffic that you guys are selling. So I see this ads everywhere, and I run plenty of dating myself. So this is kind of one of those evergreen verticals. I don't think this will ever go anywhere. It's just about what happens on the back end. So I've seen black sheep or not the ideal players. I mean, charging people by pre-checking all these upsells and everything. And again, once they overdone it, the regulator stepped in, and that kind of caused issues for everyone who was part of the industry. So I think this is where it's going in general. So more regulations. Whoever wants to stay in this business just has to become compliant. It should be more about long-term and predictable growth instead of collecting the quick money like tomorrow or this month and not caring about the future, because that's not going to help anyone in the long run. So I would say those who can be responsible, those who work with proper data and they can actually monetize properly on the back end without abusing it, at least not too much. Those can stay in the business, survive and thrive. And it's not just dating, it's iGaming as well, for example. So if you talk to people from iGaming, they would tell you that even for the players, it has become better now, because many years ago it was basically impossible to win anything. Now every operator has followed certain rules and pay out certain percentage from the money they collect. So generally, this is the way it's heading. People need to stay compliant. They need to be realistic about what they are offering and actually provide some value to the customers. To not overcharge them, stay kind of like keep the flows clean, and basically, yeah, it's just like I said. If they don't regulate themselves and don't make the business fair, at least to some extent, then someone else will step in and kill the business for them.
Do you see more and more attendees step into these verticals?
High risk?
Yeah.
It's always been part of the conference. So, I mean, dating, for example, is a stable part of our attendee base, both on the affiliate side, so people actually promoting these offers, as well as networks who have these offers, and as well as the traffic sources that have the traffic that works with these verticals. I'm not sure if it's growing or not. I mean, some of them are stable. So, I mean, again, since I've been in this game for so long, I've seen things happen several times already. So there seems to be something like a cycle. for any industry, or not all of them, but for many it happened, and I've seen it for some twice or 3 times already. So something comes as the new thing, it grows, kind of stabilizes itself, then it kind of goes down, almost dies, then after some time it comes back. So, and I've seen it with these verticals as well. So at some point there was nothing else you could basically run on adult traffic except for dating. Now there are more options, so maybe back then people were probably pushing higher volumes, but that's not because dating would be dying, they just have other options now. I've seen this for, let's say, traffic arbitrage, for example. It's basically before all these networks and offers and products, the only thing you could do was arbitrage. You just got the traffic from some place and you sold it at a higher rate or something like that. So at some point everyone was doing this. Then obviously people started to abuse it. The buyers didn't want the traffic because it was not converting, so arbitrage kind of died for a few years. Then it came back, and I think like 3 years ago or something like that, most people I talked to about during our conference, they said like arbitrage is the best thing you can run right now. And I've seen it die literally 3-4 years before, so it kind of like came back. And this happens with many of these verticals. So there is always something that is growing at the moment. There is always something that is kind of going down. There is always something that seems dead. Eventually, it may come back again. So it's like fashion.
How have the expectations of exhibitors changed over time? For example, what they expected from the Affiliate World Conference, let's say 5 years ago, and what do they expect now?
I wouldn't say the expectations changed that much. So people are still coming there to get, let's say, new clients, get new business partners, to collect the leads. It just, for some companies, these expectations or goals may change because, again, depending on where in the phase of their life cycle they are. So if you are a small network that is just starting, your core goal is to find, let's say, new affiliates to push your offers. If you are an established company with a lot of business going on, then you need to send the right signal to your community or to your business partners. So you need to go big and show them, okay, we are in great financial situation. There is no way to be afraid of anything. We can just like increase and scale the business. Then they need to go big and actually show the message. So this is what I would say is changing. So maybe it's not like the general goals of the exhibitors, but the goals of specific exhibitors.
Do you think affiliate conferences, Affiliate World Conference, will look different, much different in 5-10 years, for example, from now? Do you have any plans for some global expansions, maybe?
So, well, we do. So we have announced this just yesterday. So we are coming to Mexico as well. So we will have a conference in Cancun. So this will be the Affiliate World Americas. So we've seen this demand for quite some time. So people from Northern America don't like to travel that much to Asia, for example, because it's a long flight. So we are coming closer to them. And speaking about conferences in general, I don't think there will be like some major change because the conference, it's what it is. So it's a networking event with this educational component. So maybe we can make it more modern. So, for example, I believe this was 2 years ago, we added these AI-powered translations. So now even attendees who don't speak English can actually read the subtitles for the presentations. So there are definitely things like these that we can add. AI will probably change a few things. So maybe the way our like this smart match algorithm that we have in the app, maybe we can make that better based on AI. So it will be easier for you to find attendees that you would actually want to meet with. We can make many improvements like this. So it will be probably more about the technology and what is available in the coming years, and not the concept itself. Because I think I don't think any like major change is needed. Talking about the like conference and how it's run in general. So we need to bring the people together. We need to give them the opportunity to network and talk. The exhibition is a really popular thing as well, so we are definitely keeping that. So yeah, maybe more technology, maybe new locations. Maybe, I don't know, at some point we had 3 days instead of 2. Maybe we'll bring that back eventually, even though maybe too much. even for us. I don't know, but I think it's gonna be this. So some changes in technology to add some functionality for attendees to make it more effective for them to network. And that's, I think, the rest we believe we will keep the same it is, because obviously it is working pretty good and everyone seems to enjoy it. So why change?
The core values will stay the same, just you'll try
I think
to
so.
modernize it if,
Yeah, I think so.
needed.
I think that's probably what we should be doing. So just like make it more effective maybe. And I mean, we can always test new concepts or bring some elements that we don't have if we believe it's going to make the experience better for everyone involved. But I think that the values and what we bring or what we offer, I think will stay the same to a large part.
Are you planning some expansions for new regions?
So this Cancun that I have mentioned, so that's the one we will do in the September 2026. So we will have 4 events. We need to shift the dates a little bit to make that happen. So Dubai will be in March. Then in July we will have Europe. September will be Cancun in Mexico, and December Bangkok again.
How do you choose the region where to expand?
Mm-hmm.
Based on what? Some key metrics.
Yeah. So since we are a global event, we kind of aim to cover as much ground as possible. So you need to be in Europe. That's, I mean, obvious. Asia was a great selection, I believe, as well. Then Dubai kind of came to be or became the big thing not that long ago. So we wanted to be there as well. And now with this Mexico, we wanted to cover Northern America. So the region, it's quite easy to select. The problem are the cities. So you may know we had Affiliate World Europe in Barcelona before, but we had to move because we had some issues with the venue. So there was this incident with AC air conditioning dying. Everyone was kind of upset.
Wait, you said it's easy to choose the city
It's
once
not.
you choose it. It's not.
It's extremely hard, to be honest. So you need to start fresh. So we work with many suppliers. So whenever you actually change the location, you need to find new suppliers.
Of course.
That's obviously, we can keep some, but not all of them. And you also need to think about, it's always a little bit of a risk. So will attendees like the city or will they reject it? So you need to think a lot about it. Also with these visa issues, so we need to think where we actually put the conference so the people have as few visa problems as possible. Then the transport, for example. So, and another one which probably most people wouldn't even think about is the size of the venue we need. So it's surprisingly hard to find something big enough for us to fit. So because if you need to fit like 7,000 people, I mean, it has to have certain dimensions and space that is available, and it's not that easy to find it. And then again, you don't want to use some like old ugly hall somewhere at the edge of the city. We would like to be as close to the center as possible, which complicates it even further. So it is a challenge to find a new city where we can actually go. So that's why in Bangkok we stay where we are, because the hall we have is amazing. It's actually part of the hotel. So where attendees can just take an elevator and they stay in the same building, at least large part of them. It's in the very center. Everything is close by. You have this sky train. You have this sky walk. So works really well for us. So even though we would love a bigger venue, the positives from what it is kind of like outweigh the risks we would need to take and find a new venue, test it, and see how the attendees respond.
So your requirements are pretty big venue, right? Suppliers that you can work with. These are like two, you would say, the most important ones.
Yep, probably the 2 most important ones, and then there are these other ones. So like how easy it is to get to the city. So are there enough flights to choose from, for example? Is the connection good with the countries around it? Also the prices play a role. So it's very different from what you can get for the same amount of money in Budapest, in Hungary, and in Dubai, for example. Many people come for the fun, so the city also has to offer that. So there has to be some nightlife, let's say, or can they stay longer after the event? Is there something to do? So that's
party venues,
and even so, like what we have been discussing about Thailand and why it works so well, because there is seaside, there are these beautiful islands. So people come for the conference, then stay a few days more to enjoy themselves. So this also plays a role. So it's a pretty complex decision.